From NOLA with the Forstalls. This is Chats with Chip. One-on-one conversations with my father, mentor, and hero, Chip Forstall. He's an attorney and a lover of all things New Orleans. He's here to share his expertise and opinions with you. What's up, New Orleans? Welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Forstalls, and today's segment for Chats with Chip, when a person gets into an accident, a lot of people know, document everything, take pictures, document, but oftentimes they come here to our office and they don't have those things.
You know, it's funny you started off with most people know. That's not true.
Well, I think most people have a realization that, if I have
my
to
ex-partner one time was in an accident and stuff, and I said, did you get the information? He says, I only got the guy's name. And he's a personal injury lawyer, yeah. And the reason I say that was funny is that was why I ended up developing that envelope that we had the list of all that's where that came from.
So just to let y'all know, is an envelope that we give away to our clients that has, you could put your insurance card, any registration you put in your glove compartment. In that, it tells you what to do in an accident.
And that was the reason that was developed. It's I figured if somebody who's supposed to know what they're supposed to do, they didn't, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I've got to get a list for everybody. Because what happens is when you get involved in the accident, for us to sit back here and to think about it, we're non-emotional about it. When you get involved in an accident, your emotions, your adrenaline's come running high, you get nervous, and believe me, people may know if they sit back and think about it, but in the moment, it's difficult sometimes because, like you said, my car's ruined. I had a buddy of mine from high school who had his car. He had 10 miles on his car, and he gets in a wreck right after he got the car.
On the way home.
And he was so upset about it. His car, he had a brand new car. It was his first time he had a brand new car in 10 years. And he was just so upset. And it was a bad accident. In fact, we represent him on it. But anyway, going back to what you're talking about is that's one of the things we give out, those envelopes, those things that we do.
But I think it's more, and like what you said, it's that adrenaline's pumping, right?
Yeah.
And that you're just, you don't know what to do first, and it's scary.
I tell people all the time, the first thing you can do is you can call the police. The second thing you do is you call us up, because if it's during office hours, 8:30 to 5, we'll answer the phone and we'll tell you exactly what to do, which makes it easy on you and stuff. We actually have connections with people who can actually come out to the scene if necessary. We have access to tow trucks who come out to the scene to tow your car if necessary. And we've both been out on the scene before helping people. That's just part of the service. But for people just to normally and stuff, you want to picture their license plate, you want to picture their insurance card, you want a picture of their driver's license if possible. You want to take a picture of the scene, you want to take a picture of your damages, their damages. Something else that, again, why it's so important to come see us right away or see somebody right away is if it's a disputed accident, let me tell you something. When I tell you there's cameras all over the place now, there are cameras
especially in New Orleans,
all over the place. Yeah. They have the crime cameras and stuff, but they also have stores, a lot of stores. Because cameras are relatively cheap now. So it's really important that you come see us and stuff, because even if the question is, even if there's liability, it looks good, you may think it looks good, but when we look at it, stuff, there's a little question here, a little question there. Did you really pull out that fast? Did you pull it? So we would go ahead and find out there's cameras and stuff. So what we'll do is we'll pick out the view of the area from Google Maps, whatever, take a look and see what businesses are around there and see if we can see cameras. If we can't, we'll either send somebody out, or a lot of times we send the client back out. Go look and see if there's any cameras anywhere. If there are, then we'll send somebody over.
Well, now we got technology, and we can drop a Google pin and look at the street view and see.
We don't know how recent the view is.
We do.
We do? Mm-hmm. They can tell you when it is?
They do.
Oh, okay.
They tell you when it is.
There you go. Something I didn't
Just leave it to me.
I do everything old way. The old school way is, you go out, you paper, you get whatever. But anyway, but that's cool.
Yeah.
So all of that blends into and goes into why, whether it's us or somebody else, you need to get representation. Because I promise you that 95 times out of 100, the other person's already called their insurance company. They've already started their investigation, and they're going to do, and remember, the insurance company's job is to pay you the least amount of money they can. Our job is to protect you and to take care of you. So when you come to see us, we start the process. All the things that we look at, we have to look at the proof, the evidence, examples. A witness, you got the witness's name and number. Well, somebody needs to call the witness right away and talk to the witness and stuff. Right. If you wait a week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks to call the witness or wait for the police report to come in, guess what? The guy's changed, the guy's moved, the guy doesn't remember.
True. I'm gonna bring you back in because we're still talking about the first 48 hours, right?
Okay, yeah, no, but that's all has to be done in the first 72 hours.
That's true.
This is everything I've told. Everything I told. Mm-hmm. How about this? Did you know? Did y'all know that most recording systems, they record over? So you have anywhere from 72 to a week before the system records over the prior recording. So if you don't go get the recording and you come to see me 3 weeks later and we go to see, it's gone.
Right.
So it doesn't do you any good. So that's why
usually those video recording systems they're usually a week or two.
At the most.
At the most. And so if you're waiting 15 days after the accident, 9 chances out of 10 it's gone.
And I got to tell you something, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think even the city cameras after a period of time.
Yeah, they do. And now that's what I'm getting to in a minute, because if you get a police report, then it attaches the crime camera to the police report and it gets saved, which is good. But again, if you don't get a police report.
And how many times that happened?
Gosh, too many times.
More often than not.
It's happening more often.
Yeah, right.
So, but I think what I was trying to talk about was, in when you get into that accident, that first feeling of, adrenaline and overwhelming, everything, all the emotions coming up, how do you remove that and just remember stick to the plan and remember what you're supposed to do?
You mean on the scene?
On the scene. How do you remove that? Because I mean, a lot of people.
Doesn't work that way.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
It should be. Let me tell you something. I've been in the same situation. I have actually had something happen. It wasn't to me. It was somebody in a family member and stuff. And I didn't trust my own decision making because I was emotionally upset and emotionally involved. I called my buddy Lenny. I said, "This is the issue. What do I do?" Because I wanted somebody dispassionate.
So you leaned on.
I leaned on somebody else.
So that's the advice.
That's the advice. Yes, you lean on somebody else.
Lean on somebody else. Don't let your emotions take over.
Because when your emotions take over, you do stupid stuff. You don't remember stuff, and you just don't. You just don't. It's just human nature.
Right. And I mean, I can give you tons of examples of as soon as you leave the scene, as soon as the cars get taken away, evidence disappears. Right?
Oh, no doubt about it. But then that's when you do calm down. You say, "Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have done that." Give you the perfect example and stuff. Are there skid marks? Mm-hmm. Because if there's skid marks, guess what? You can determine how fast a person's going approximately by the skid marks. Right. So, you need somebody dispassionate of somebody. Now, hopefully the police officer comes out and he writes the report and gets all the information. If you haven't seen the police report, the police report's now, 6, 7, 8 pages long? With all the information that you need and stuff. I mean, amount of damage to the vehicle, where the damage to the vehicle is done. But that's all a dispassionate view.
Right.
Somebody who's objective. They can see it. They write it all down. It's in a piece of paper and stuff. That's why, to me, it's important to call the police because they'll come out and write a report.
So let's talk about that, because I think there's many times, obviously, clients call the police. It's going to be a while. They wait an hour and they go, they leave, or they say, "Oh, let's just take care of it ourselves." Right? The defendant doesn't want to call.
If you want to leave or you don't want to call the police, please call us. We haven't before you do anything. We obviously on the office hours, no problem stuff. We also have an after hours call system. I, along with you, personally get the text messages and stuff. And I, maybe you too, don't sleep as much as I sleep. I don't sleep a lot.
5.5 hours every night.
So if I'm lucky. So the answer is I'm going to get that text message, and I'm OCD, and I'm going to look it up and find out. So if you make a telephone call to the office and say, "I've just been involved in an accident, I'm looking for some help," we're still at the scene, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get a telephone call from me. Right. Or Jonathan. Or I may call him up and wake him up and stuff and get a telephone call. And it has happened because it's part of we take care of you. Right. We take care of it all. So what we would do is tell you what to do at the accident scene. You can videotape the guy. I mean, but that's the whole idea behind that. Yeah. If it's during the day, we actually have a man who will come out to the scene and write our own
Do a
report
little-
for us and
right.
stuff. Okay, he will come out. So if you don't want to call the police, let us know. We'll do it. And if it turns out to be not a good case, we pay the guy. You don't pay him anything. We pay
Yeah.
him stuff. But
No
it's,
risk on them.
yeah, no risk for them. But it's important to us because it goes back down to there's just, again, we've talked about it and stuff. So you're at the scene, you get hit, you're nervous, you don't know what to do. If you feel comfortable, do all the things that the list tells you to do. If you don't know what it is and stuff, call us. But simple as, like I just told you before, get all the pictures, get everything documented. You can videotape the guy. Again, one quick story, which I've told you before. I've told you this was probably 10 times, and I'll tell you 10 more times. A guy riding down St. Claude Avenue Sunday morning gets rear-ended by a Cadillac with a lady with a choir robe on. She goes, no problem. Here's my insurance information. We don't need to call the police. Not a problem stuff. We call up on Monday. And she told the insurance company that my client was backing up down St. Claude Avenue. Well, nobody backs up down St. Claude Avenue. Okay, and the insurance company knew that, but it just goes to show you how people lie. They change their stories.
Well, I think people don't want to be at fault for an accident, right?
They don't.
They don't want their insurance premiums to go up, so they come up with crazy stories.
You've heard them. You've been practicing. You've been practicing long enough to hear those crazy stories. Yeah,
yeah. So that's what I wanted to go into is the police report, and and that's how important getting that is because even if you have to wait an hour or two.
Well, the police officer in that case, if they would have come out, they would have looked at the lady and goes, "Really? Is that what you're going to say?"
Right.
You're
Not only that, but maybe at the scene she was admitting fault, and then when she got to church, she's like, "Hey, someone's talking in her ear saying."
That is exactly what happened.
Right.
They
changed
changed their story and stuff. Because, how are you going to tell somebody, look them eyeball to eyeball and say, you were backing up down the street, and the guy's going to look, my client's going to look at it and go, what? Are you out of your mind? I wasn't backing up. They won't do that. But like I said, they go, and then all of a sudden they change their story because somebody said, oh, you just got to say something because then your insurance company won't have to pay and your premiums won't go up. Wrong. And remember this. I hate to say this since I know I'm a lawyer. People say lawyers lie. I don't lie. And I tell you right now, lying never solves anything because once you lie and you get caught in the lie, nobody believes anything you say.
Yeah.
Credibility is gone in that particular case and stuff. We won easily because everybody knew that the story was just totally false.
Yeah. And people will.
In fact, they ended up settling us for more money because I said, let's go to court and let me have your lady get on the stand saying my client was backing up down St. Claude Avenue on a Sunday morning.
Right. Yeah.
Not happening.
Not happening. So, in addition to the police report and that first, at the scene, it's important that we talk about some photos, right? That's photos.
Today, somebody said that more photos are done in one day than all the prior photos from 1950 before. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody takes photographs and stuff because
the quality,
pictures speak. Oh, yeah, the quality is
there.
Oh, yeah, it's
you can take video.
But the pictures speak the truth and stuff. If you can, where the cars are positioned so there's no guessing. I do know you have to move your car off the scene of the accident and stuff. You can't impede the roadway, but you can take a quick picture. And again, had a case where the defendant said, my client came into their lane. Well, the client took a picture. And guess what it showed? That the other person came into his lane the opposite direction. But if they had moved off the road, now there is ways to tell because of debris field, but it was easy and again, proved the defendant was a liar. Right. So guess what? Insurance company,
But imagine if that happened and they didn't take pictures at the scene or didn't call the police.
And the damages did not leave enough road, but then it was just your word against their word and there's no way to prove it.
Debris and no one wouldn't.
Nope, there's no way to prove it.
Then all of a sudden you don't have a case.
He said, she said, and now you got a 50-50 case. I don't mean 50% liability. You got a 50% chance you can win.
Right.
And that's not a good chance.
That's not a good chance.
We don't like that.
At 50%, if the judge finds you that 50-50, like you say.
Yeah. No judgment. I can't believe anybody.
51% more likely than not.
The burden when you file suit is the burden is on us to prove the case. That if we don't prove the case, we lose. I tell you something else that's important in the first 72 hours and stuff is medical treatment.
That's where I was going next.
Okay, the reason is now a lot of people want to run to the hospital. I tell people today, please don't run to the hospital unless you're seriously injured and stuff.
Why is that?
Because the hospital bill goes to be $10,000, $9,000, and most people only have $15,000 policies. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there with a $9,000 bill, and a $15,000 policy. Obviously, if I took a third, the person would get no money, so we can't take the full third, which is okay, but I can't put any money in the client's pocket and get them properly compensated. If you're hurt, I mean, if it's a bad accident, the answer is go to the hospital and stuff, because your health is more important than the money. But if it's a minor fender bender, people think, well, if I go to the hospital, it helps my case. It doesn't.
No.
It just doesn't, because you come see us and stuff, we'll get you to somebody right away.
Right, and this.
Right away, the same day, next day. And the reason, again, goes back down to the 72-hour rule, because the first thing that y'all words out of the insurance company's mouth is, oh, you didn't go to the doctor right away. You couldn't be hurt. Oh, God, I've been hearing that for 47 years.
They always
and then if you go to the hospital right away, oh, you're just trying to make a claim. There's no proper answer and stuff. But as far as they're concerned, whatever you say, they're going to use it against you. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's a lot better to go to the doctor soon after the accident.
Absolutely.
Because again, we go back down, you just talked about adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
What does adrenaline do? Thank you very much. What does it do? Tell them what it does.
Mask the injury for sure.
Yeah.
And that's, going back to the hospital, it's insane what's going on right now in terms of just there's no regulation on keeping those bills down. So they go get checked out. They get their blood pressure taken, they get a scan of something, and that's $10,000, and they get nothing out of it.
And tell them what the hospital does not want to use.
Oh, that's another thing. Very good point. So yeah, Medicaid. If you have Medicaid, some of you might say, oh, I got Medicaid, I got Medicare. They'll charge that, and then Medicaid will pay it. They don't. And that's the issue, is that they're charging these $9,000 bills.
Because why?
Because they can.
They can, and they want to get paid.
They want to get paid. So and why they're not charging Medicaid. So Medicaid would pay, 10% of the bill, 20% of the bill.
That's about it.
So on a $9,000 bill, they're paying $1,000.
Right.
Right.
Which we can handle.
Which is not
a problem. But they're now saying, oh, we're not going to file it with Medicaid, because guess what? There's an automobile accident, and we're going to get paid the full freight.
Right. So they get the full $9,000.
Yeah.
Which leaves our client out. Now, how is that fair?
Out. It's not fair.
Now,
it's not fair, even close to being fair.
And we could do a whole podcast about this, but why is the medical cost going up, but yet the policy limits are staying the same?
Well, that was my rant before. Y'all didn't see I had a previous rant about that, about how they increased the limits, but only on property damage, because cars are more expensive, but they didn't increase the limits. The limits on bodily injury and stuff. Makes no sense whatsoever, except one word: greed. Don't get me started.
We'll do another podcast about that sometime.
Greed.
Coming soon in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So let's talk about the 72 hours getting into if you need to go to the hospital.
All right. Let's talk about witnesses real quick.
Great idea. Great witnesses. We're still at the scene.
Still at the scene.
Okay.
I had a witness. What's his name? I think his name's Joe. Did you get his telephone number? No. Did he wait for the police? No. The witness is worth nothing then.
Because all you got is a name?
That's it. So you need to get his name, and you get his telephone number. In fact, the easiest way to do it is to have him call your cell phone. Then you got his number on your phone.
And it's locked.
And if you're smart enough, if you're not upset enough,
then
you can actually record him saying what he saw.
Right.
Which is a great way to preserve evidence.
Yes.
So it's all about preserving evidence and having it available. And if he cannot stay on the scene, because the police are going to be forever, get his name and number, and the police will call him and say, what did you see? And they'll put that in the report.
Well, let's talk about when a witness is needed, because witnesses are, always a great thing to have, right? But they're not always necessary if it's a rear-end collision.
Yeah, they're not necessary, but let me tell you something. Again, I'm the guy who wants to wear belt and suspenders and stuff. If there's a witness, I still want their name.
Oh, for sure.
We still get a statement from them anyway, because again, people change their testimony. The Steve rule. Steve's coming down, again, St. Claude Avenue. He's on his motorcycle. We had a witness, but we didn't need a witness, we thought, because my client was coming down St. Claude, and the truck with the trailer was coming off a side street, and everything's fine, hunky-dory, and all of a sudden the guy says, he came between two cars, which he didn't. But thank God we were able to track down the witness and stuff and straighten the story out.
Right.
So again, people lie. You never know.
You never know.
Right.
I guess what I was asking is, to make it a point for for a car accident victim to go seek out a witness if there is a liability issue, right? There's,
right.
That might be something.
Well, there's a
different.
lot. I mean, again, liabilities go He ran into the back of me. Yeah, but he just pulled from around the corner and stuff, and I was going too fast, and he pulled right in front of me and stuff. And then there's a witness who says, "No, I was behind you, and I saw you run into him and stuff." I mean, it's
not always what it seems.
It's
right?
not. That is what people do not understand. People do not tell the truth. Okay, I keep telling people that and stuff. I mean, but they don't tell the truth. So the answer is if there's a witness available, like you just said, though. So if you're on a corner and there's Joe sitting out by the corner and he saw the accident. Hey, Joe, did you see what happened? Yeah, saw it happen. He pulled out and it's his fault. Do you mind giving me your name and number so I can call? Because I know the insurance companies are gonna may dispute this and stuff. Can you please, would you mind? And most people, believe it or not, are going to help. Mm-hmm. See, I'll tell you the other thing and stuff. You get involved in a wreck. Somebody stops and says, "Yeah, I saw it. Are you okay?" And they're in their car. Say, "Can I get your name and number? You don't have to stay because I know the police take forever. Can I get your name and number so the police can call you so you can see what they said?" But that's why that stuff that's important. It's all important.
Absolutely.
Don't take anything for granted. Always assume.
Very true. Very true. Because
people are dishonest.
As you're saying that, I'm remembering cases where it seems so cut and dry. It seems so plain and just that makes sense. And then something pops up and it wasn't that. People, didn't seem that way.
That's the advantage of coming over here. 47 years, 30,000 accidents. I've seen it all. I mean, there's very few things you can get by with that you're going to get past me and stuff because I've seen it all. I mean, that's the advantage. That's that institutional knowledge we talk about all the time.
That's right.
For some young people, we're got to remember.
And that's another great thing about our firm is that we have the old school mixed with the new school and the best of both worlds.
And I will give you the kudos about the new school, the new stuff that you're implementing, the things that you're doing. I agree with you 100%. I think that it's going to take us to a different level. I mean, the service is going to be, was already, I think, fantastic. I think it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you, and we're going to do another whole podcast about this, where how do you elevate a already fantastic firm?
With technology and I got it. I know I'm old. Technology, just the one thing that you've done, which is a whole podcast, is just the app that we use now.
The app.
Yeah, and it's funny because the clients come in who are over 60 don't use the app too much. The clients under 30, oh my God, it's the best thing in the world. My God, they cannot tell me how nice it is, how wonderful it is, how easy it is to communicate. Blah 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 blah. I'm sitting going like, yeah, he was right.
Crazy how generational differences
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So one other thing I want to talk about before the end of the podcast today was, sometimes I've had some clients come in, they've gotten into an accident, they're injured or they feel an injury coming. This, accident just happened, but they feel guilty to make a claim.
I tell them the story of Otis. Otis came in, no one make a claim, and Otis comes back 6 weeks later. Well, man, I had a little pain, but it's, Otis, yeah. So he finally gets to the doctor, and, it's a true story. He gets to the doctor. He gets discharged. How you doing, Otis? Well, I'm doing okay, but I got a little lingering pain in my hand. Otis, we need to get you back to the doctor. Make a long story short, after going back and forth this many times, turned out from what he thought was just a minor soft tissue injury turned out to be a herniated disc, and he got shoulder surgery. And this is not shoulder surgery, neck surgery. This has got to be 40 years ago, 35 years ago. And at the time, we must probably got like $300,000, which back then was plenty of money. That case would go for $750 or $1 million maybe now. But I tell people all the time and stuff, it's better to be safe than sorry. We only have one shot at this. You need to make sure that you get treated and stuff. Because what happens is, like you said, the adrenaline masks the injury, for a couple of days and stuff. And then you get sore. And again, a lot of people get sore and they'll get better. Like we've represented athletes and stuff. And they hurt for a month, but that's no big. Because they're such good athletes. They good.
Right, their bodies are used to it.
Yeah, used to it. They get, that's fine. It is what it is and stuff. You don't remember Ricky Jackson ended up breaking his jaw, breaking his arm, or breaking something. Within 6 weeks, he was playing football again. He was an animal, okay? He was just, this guy was just, he was, just one of these, just a guy, but I tell people all the time, make the claim, let us set you up. And if you tell me that in a week or 2 weeks, everything's fine and dandy, not a problem. Not a problem. We'll get it wrapped up, get you a couple of dollars, you go your way, not a problem. I just don't want you to be saying, man, I should have made a claim. Right. I would have made a claim if I'd have known this. Because we tell them all, better to be safe than sorry. Let us set you up, get checked out. If it's nothing, it's nothing.
Right. Kind of the same logic as need it, not have it. And
it's better to need. It's better to have than not need than to need and not have. And that is one of my top 4 favorite sayings and stuff.
That's right.
Be prepared. I was a Boy Scout. You be prepared and stuff. You take care of your business.
And that logic applies here. It's better to file a claim and nothing happened than not file a claim and
then all of a sudden down the road, exactly, because your disc problems, serious problems, may not the disc problem. People talk about herniated disc. They may be masked by the soft tissue, and it may not really show up until that was the older story. Right.
Months.
I mean, yeah.
I remember there was a case that I had that we didn't realize she didn't really make her first complaint until about a couple of weeks after the accident. Yeah. And it was very minor.
Right.
On a 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 pain. Fast forward 6-8 months. It's now 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Exactly.
It didn't go like straight up.
Right.
The pain scale, it gradually over time, like a soft scale, just went straight up.
That can happen.
And that's sometimes people don't realize that. And that's scary because...
You know what we could do, huh? We could get a doctor in here to explain some of that. That'd be a good podcast.
That's a good idea.
That's a good podcast.
Okay.
Explain how the soft tissue part as opposed to a disc or ligament tear or whatever, how it plays out and how it changes and how things are affected. That would be a good podcast because people don't realize that. They think everything's whiplash. It's not.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. We'll have to build on that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So that just about rounds us out. You got anything else to add on the 72 hours? What to do?
I love my son. He can be very aggravating because he forgets how much institutional knowledge that I have here. But I'm sticking around, folks. So don't worry. I'm not going nowhere.
Should I say something or
no?
Not?
You don't.
Okay. All right. Don't say anything. Okay.
You can say whatever you want to say because you're cute.
Let's round us out and let's ask one last question. Mm-hmm. If someone got into a wreck yesterday, what would you tell them?
Come see us today. Come see us immediately.
And why would they choose us over another law firm?
So many reasons. There really are. There's so many reasons. Attention to personal detail, the empathy, the caring about the client as opposed to just caring about the money.
And can I start out by just saying, and you know, you're a modest, humble guy. We have got one of the highest client retention rates in the city of New Orleans. That's all because of you. And that, I think, is something that's huge. That speaks to how we handle cases and how we handle clients, is that people come back to us.
Yes, this is true. We do have the majority of our business by far is repeat clients and clients were referred. I had a client come in the other day. He was a young fella, maybe in his 23, 24. And I said, I'm so glad. He goes, yeah, my grandmama sent me your behalf. And she told me her name. And I said, yeah, I remember her well.
Grandmama.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, third generation.
And he said, my grandmama told me, if I don't come see Chip, she's going to whoop my ass. That's the kind of loyalty we have and stuff. Because, again, we care about people. And you're just not a number. You're just not a dollar sign. You're people. And we take care of people. We truly treat people like family.
That's that. And that is true. And you can ask any one of our clients. Don't just take it from us.
Yeah, read some of our reviews.
Yeah.
Read some of the reviews,
If you know
man.
someone that's been a client of ours, ask them. Because I promise you they're going to tell you it was a good experience.
Yeah.
But that's, I think it's, it sets us apart.
Yeah.
That's
what I think sets us apart.
It really sets us apart. So, and look, if you have a case or anything, come see us and you can join the family.
Better than that, if you're hot outside and you need a bottle of water, come by and see us and stuff. We're glad to see you. We like people. We do. But that just about does it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I know Chip was mentioned earlier about those pamphlets that we had. Yep. If you want one to put in your car, come stop by or drop a comment. We'll send one your way. And stay tuned next week for some more podcasts. Thank y'all. From NOLA with the Forstalls is presented by Jonathan and Chip Forstall. Executive producer, Mona Lisa Johnson, Sierra Media Productions. Host, Jonathan Forstall. Casting director, Jonathan Thomas, Ascension Branding and Marketing. Post-production editor and voiceover talent, Matt Pawlowski, Redline Studios in New York City. Produced by Ascension Branding and Marketing and Sierra Media Productions.
Thanks for listening.